Hi everybody! Today's episode 1570 features video snippets from ABL, Migrants, also from Awaken with JP, Annoying. Plus from Doug in Exile, James Busted, and wrapping up with Dr. Steve, Nightmare. Highlights begin today, May 22nd, 2025, at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Don't miss this great lineup.
Help keep free speech alive. Please join Murtech on Locals, Truth Social, and on X.
From Anthony Bryan Logan, Hillary Clinton prioritizes migrants over American families.
From Awaken with JP, these are annoying.
From Doug in Exile, AG Letitia James Busted. Upended by Trump lawsuit.
And from Dr. Steve Turley, these latest Trump polls are a Democrat nightmare.
Don't miss this great live stream with Murtech on Rumble tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. The link is in the description box below. Thank you for all your support and may God bless. Oh, by the way, don't forget to follow me and click the thumbs up button. Thanks again.
Hi everybody, this is John. This is John Murphy at Murtech.com with your daily news update. Okay, here we are on May the 22nd in the year of our Lord 2025. Got a lot of great information for you. Let's go ahead and click over here, Murtech on Rumble. This is the live stream you're watching right now, my episode 1570. Let's get into this. Pause this and close the chat. And slide down here and open up the description box. We have information from Anthony Bryan Logan, Awaken with JP, Doug in Exile, and Dr. Steve Turley. But before we get into that, let's slide down here and give a shout out to Vlad the Bad, just started following my channel. Sherry 1952 just started following my channel. And Lainey Johnson just started following my channel. So thank you very much, folks, for following my channel. I greatly appreciate that. I hope you tuned in, and I hope you enjoy the content. Okay, Russian Bear 333 gave me a comment on my episode 1565. Birdie 71 and Fairy 36 gave me a comment on my episode 1569. So thank you very much, folks, for your comments. I greatly enjoy your feedback and your support. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a thumbs up here. Watch how easy this is. 1, 2, 3, boom. Oh, man, that's good stuff. Good stuff. I've got one of those thumbs up things right here down below the video. If you just slide down here and click on that, that would be fantastic. Okay, Anthony Bryan Logan, Hillary Clinton prioritizes migrants over American families. I think that's the thing for Democrats to do. That seems to be their mainstay. Let's see what Anthony Bryan Logan has to say about that. All right, I'm not getting this. I'm not understanding why this happens on Rumble sometimes. I really don't get it. Let me see here. Okay, let me know, folks, if you're hearing any audio on this because I just don't get it. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is skip down here to the next video. Okay. All right. Let me get this adjusted here. Open this up. And let me go on to Awaken with JP. Now this is kind of interesting here. I think it's amusing, entertaining. This is annoying with JP Sears. So let's just take a look and see if we could actually get some audio on this one. Okay, I'm going to get this screen set up for you. Okay. Awaken with JP. Let me see if you guys can hear this. Okay.
This guy fighted me when I was young.
He fighted you?
Well, you know what I'm saying.
I do.
Past tense. But he they made us hug in the hallway. That was the big thing at
when it was over?
At our school. You had to stand there.
AI baby videos are all over the internet. And my question is, are they funny or are they annoying? We're going to get into it. Welcome back to the JPRX channel, where we like to call it lies, hypocrisy, corruption, and help spread the light of truth and freedom, because truth conquers. And I do believe it will set us free. Now, the truth on these baby AI generated videos, are they funny? Are they annoying? I'll give you my professional comedian, scientifically derived opinion.
I don't think he likes them all that much. I don't think so, but hey, I think they're entertaining
during this video. But first, we'll take a look at some of the examples going around, and these have the past month sprung up all over the place. So if you open Twitter or wherever you like to mindlessly scroll, they're all over. And a lot of them are replicating celebrities, like big one going on. I mean, multiple versions of it. Baby Joe Rogan and baby Theo Vaughn. Pretty unique in the variations of it. So it's a new thing. And people are doing all these celebrities, a lot of them in podcast format, or a baby interviewing a dog. One reason why it's happening so much right now is because it can. And it never could before. But just because you can do something doesn't mean it's worth doing. So with these AI baby videos, we'll get to the scientific question. Are they actually funny or are they annoying? I'll give you my opinion. But first, let's take a look at a few examples going on. I'll also show you how these videos are made. And we'll start with the remaining part of the Theo Vaughn Joe Rogan podcast clip of fake babies. There's definitely something creepy about that.
All afternoon for literally probably maybe 2-3 hours with your arms on each other's shoulders.
After you fought?
Yep.
To make up with each other?
And he became one of my best friends after that. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I've got my skepticism, and I'll show you whatever degree you think this is funny. In a minute or two, I'll show you the very low-hanging fruit comedic principle that these AI baby videos are using to get people to watch. But first, here's baby Elon talking about Elon things.
Simply cannot sustain as a country $2 trillion deficits. The interest rates, just the interest on the national debt, now exceeds the Defense Department spending. We spend a lot on the Defense Department, but we're spending over $1 trillion on interest. If this continues, the country will become de facto bankrupt. It's not an optional thing. It is an essential thing.
It is kind of fun seeing a baby and adult Elon Musk form. And by the way, here's another creator using the same Elon voice clip with, I think, a less good baby version. This one looks less realistic.
Simply cannot sustain as a country $2 trillion deficits.
A little more cartoon-like. And as a pretentious creator, I have judgment. Like there's a real lack of originality that goes into these, because you see multiple people, probably countless people, doing their own version of the same thing because they saw someone else do it a month ago. Whoever the original person was that made the AI baby videos, hats off to them. Cool. That was creative. You probably never find them because they're probably a million that came out all within a day. Like, oh, that's an AI. I can do that. Let me do that. So I got my judgments, but what can I do? Here's another popular one. I don't think this baby is meant to replicate a specific podcaster. It is just a baby podcaster interviewing a dog.
We'll be talking to the weird-looking person who lives at my house. Thanks for being here, weird-looking person.
Well, thanks for having me. As you know, you are my third favorite person in the world, third behind the two larger people that we also live with. They're both awesome. So cool. You're fine, and right now those two larger people are both busy and not paying attention to me at all. So happy to chat with you.
So to kick things off, I want to ask you a question. And
That's 30 seconds. That's plenty for me with my taste. I don't know how someone could get through a full 3 minutes of that, but all the power to them. And of course, all over the place, we see AI generated versions of Trump, whether he's the Pope in Rome or Trump just talking to the camera. Here's baby Trump talking to the camera.
Say I fell asleep at a meeting in Saudi Arabia. Fake news. I closed my eyes for 2 seconds thinking, deep thinking, smart thinking. I just flew 12 hours, no sleep, straight into high-level talks. And guess what? I still ran the room. No teleprompter, no naps, unlike Sleepy Joe. They call it dozing off. I call it global strategy. America's back. Stronger, smarter, and wide awake.
Okay, so you get the point. Now, why is this funny? To whatever degree is that you think it's funny. I mean, first one I saw maybe a month ago, I'm like, all right, that's kind of funny. Maybe it registers like a 5 out of 10. And now I look at it and like, okay, that's a 1 out of 10 for me because you've just seen so many. The originality, the shock value is just less. But for the AI baby podcast video creators, there's a very simple comedic principle that they're leveraging. And when you're using AI, it makes it very low-hanging fruit, very easy to create something that has the structure of funny. And it's a comedic principle called the contrast principle, where you simply contrast two opposing realities. That could never happen. Very easy to do in a stand-up joke format, a little harder to do in a sketch format, extremely easy to do in a AI generative format. And here's the two opposing realities: baby talking like an adult, and specifically talking like an adult podcaster that Joe Rogan, Theo Vaughn. It just makes the second part of the contrast reality more specific.
Elon called me. He said, they're trying to drive us apart. I said, absolutely. They said, we have breaking news. Donald Trump has ceded control of the presidency to Elon Musk. President Musk will be attending a cabinet meeting tonight at 8 o'clock. And I say, It's just so obvious. They're so bad at it. I used to think they were good at it. They're actually bad at it, because if they were good at it, I'd never be president.
So it's funny because you would never see a baby having an adult conversation on the podcast. Normally, it's just adults having adult conversations on podcasts. That's why that's inherently not funny. It's expected. But when you contrast these two realities, it's unexpected in our psyches, and therefore, you can get a little chuckle out of it. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but first, I want to tell you about nobody's sure to use it eligible. Let's leverage this contrast reality very well is Family Guy, specifically with Stewie the baby. He's one of the more sharp-tongued characters on the show. He's doing devious things. He's raunchy. He's inappropriate. All things that you would never expect a baby to do. Family Guy's been able to do it for years because of their very expensive cartoon production. That's why if you've watched Family Guy or a show like that, you'd say, okay, it's kind of original. It's inherently got this structure of funny in it. And now maybe to the dismay of Family Guy, it's very easy for anybody with a couple AI software programs to exercise this comedic contrast principle of baby in an adult world type of thing. Now, before I show you in very simple terms how they're making these AI babies, to the question, is this actually funny or is it annoying? My answer is both. Just depends on where you are in the life cycle of watching these AI baby videos. There's an infatuation phase where it's new, like, wow, okay, that's funny. Like the baby Theo Vaughn just doing Theo Vaughn things, and then you've got Joe Rogan, and then they're laughing. Look at the babies laugh. You see it once, cool. You see it again, like, oh, yeah, they made another one. Maybe it's still funny, but before too long, if you've got any level of sophisticated sense of humor, it'll probably go from funny to neutral to annoying. And that's just because the internet's getting way oversaturated with these. For something to continue to be funny, it has to be original. And there's not really anything original about these AI baby videos other than how they're presented. Baby's doing this. They're taking voice tracks from famous people we know. Most of them aren't even creating the voice tracks, writing their own original scripts. There'd be more of a life cycle to that if they were. But when they're just essentially pirating Joe Rogan podcast material, there's no originality in that. The only originality is we're doing AI babies, and that's quickly becoming unoriginal. Therefore, my prediction is that these AI baby videos, it's a current trend. I don't think they're anything that a creator can hang their hat on because the market's just getting way oversaturated with it. And before too long, I think there will be less just because people are over it, and people that want to leverage AI for their content creation, they'll need to start doing other low-hanging fruit. As they strike me personally in this moment, I'm in the annoying phase. When I see new ones come up, I don't click on them and watch them. It's like, I get it. The content isn't funny. The presentation is funny the first few times you see it, because the presentation uses the comedic contrast principle, two opposing realities that you wouldn't expect. You see enough of them, now you expect them. Therefore, the emotional movement that makes someone laugh ain't really there. I'm probably just a purist. Like, forgive me if I'm just like, hey, my comedic high horse, I don't think they're that funny. Yeah, maybe I need to go pee up a flagpole. Let me know that in the comments if you think I should. Now, here is a quick 45-second tutorial on how they very easily make these AI baby podcasting videos. Check it out.
If you've seen those AI talking baby podcasts and you've wanted to make one for yourself, I'm going to show you exactly how.
I definitely don't want to make one for myself. If I do, please send me nasty DMs criticizing my lack of creativity.
First, you need to turn yourself into a baby in a podcast studio. The easiest way to do that is to take a picture of yourself, upload it to ChatGPT, and then say, create image, turn this person into a baby in a podcast studio. Once you have your image, you want to head over to a site called Dreamina. This is an AI that's going to take the image of that baby and turn it into a talking video. When you're there, head over to Lip Sync and then upload your baby image. Then just upload any audio that you want your baby podcaster to say. Once you're happy with everything, click run and you've got yourself a fully animated baby podcast host. If you want an in-depth tutorial of how to do this, along with links to all the tools.
All right, then whatever he's selling after that. But that's quick synopsis on how it's done. If you're remotely tech savvy, relatively easy thing to do. Admittedly, I might just be an old crotchety guy stuck in my ways. I love humans, and the more something is removed from humans in a way that's pretending to be humans, it's just not my style. I don't like it. I think it's pretty creepy. Yeah, the new stuff, I don't like it because it's new. But let me know what you think. Do you think these AI baby videos are funny? Do you think they're here to stay? Or do you kind of agree with me that it's like, yeah, it's a quick trend that's going to burn out fast? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll look forward to seeing you on our next video, and it will be non-AI JP.
Okay, there you go. Hey, I don't know. I guess I haven't seen enough of them. Let me get back here before we get into something else.
My goal in regard.
I hate when that happens. Okay, I'm going to click on the Rumble link here and show you that this video did come from Awaken with JP. I'm following the channel, giving him a thumbs up. All right, let me get back here. Here we go. Holy smokes. Okay, let me make sure I pause this. Got things kind of going crazy here with that one. Let me try. You see, I don't understand this, how I can click on one video and I don't get audio, click on another video and I do. Let me click back here on Awaken with JP and see if I can get the audio on this. Okay.
We got to talk about Hillary Clinton saying a few interesting things about migrants, the economy, and regular everyday Americans. You and I, born and bred Americans. Who is the priority for the government? At least the Democratic side of the aisle. Who's the priority? Regular everyday Americans, the migrants, or a combination of both? Now, what she said here comes as no surprise. They want to use the migrants as the underclass, the labor class. That's the whole game. While I guess the Americans are supervisors, or I'm not really sure. Well, some Americans, people like Hillary Clinton, who are worth billions of dollars. I'm exaggerating, but they're rich. They may benefit from having the migrants come in because they're not going to live around them. They'll serve them and they'll get whatever they want for a very low cost. But Americans, what are we to do when the migrants come in and they do all the jobs that we want to do? They, meaning the elites, like Hillary Clinton will say, the migrants do jobs that you don't want to do. Really? These guys are out here driving trucks. They're doing HVAC work. They're doing everything, desirable jobs. And they'll say, well, the reason why they're doing those jobs is because not enough Americans that are available to fill these empty positions. Is that the case? Or are you flooding us with this migrant labor to drive down the cost of goods and services to say, hey, we fixed inflation? Well, guess what? Things may be a little bit cheaper because of the migrant labor, but Americans don't have jobs. So how can I buy these things? How can I afford to live if I don't have the jobs taken up by the migrants? Now, before I go any further, let's get to a few clips here. Of course, I will link to both of these clips in the description box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary. If you're on IG, Facebook, etc., visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
What advice do you have for the first female president of the United States?
Now, what was that? What advice do you have for the first female president of the USA, or as? Because we know Hillary Clinton got curb stomped not once, but twice. The first time by Barack Obama in the 2008 primary, then again by Donald Trump in the 2016 general election.
Well, first of all, don't be a handmaiden to the patriarchy.
Handmaiden to the patriarchy. What does that mean? Does that mean that she thinks if you support men and you support women and their natural roles, that means you're less than a man, you're irrelevant in society, and the men dominate and do whatever they want? Is that what she's saying? I'm not really sure. If y'all know, let me know in the comments.
Which kind of eliminates every woman on the other side of the aisle, except for very few. Lisa Murkowski.
Very reminiscent of her previous comments about basket of deplorables.
Be grossly generalistic. You could put half of Trump supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables. Right?
But I digress.
Liz Cheney.
Yeah, there's a few. Look, first we have to get there, and it is, obviously so much harder than it should be. If a woman runs who I think would be a good president, as I thought Kamala Harris would be, and as I knew I would be, I will support that woman.
Y'all knew full well that Kamala was not going to do a good job. Y'all knew that from the beginning because of her performance in the 2020 primary, where she came in dead last, even beyond Pete Buttigieg, and everybody else that ran. Amy Klobuchar, shaking like Muhammad Ali. Y'all knew she was bad from the beginning, so please don't feed me that. All right, but let's keep on going here.
As I posted the other day, this very blatant effort to basically send a message, most exemplified by Vance and Musk and others, that, you know, what we really need from you women are more children.
And the women laugh. The reality is we do need to increase the birth rate. It's very low. We're talking about 1.66 in the USA, which is well below replacement of 2.1. And if you guys don't know what that means, the replacement rate refers to how many children each woman should have on average to keep population the same. That number in the West is about 2.1. When you go to third world type places, it's like 2.4, 2.5 maybe, because you have a higher rate of infant mortality. In the West, we need about 2.1. We're at about 1.66. Now, go to some places, some developed nations like South Korea, it's below 1. It's like 0.77, very low and unsustainable. If you keep that trajectory going, you will have no more humans in that area. And if we have that low birth rate worldwide, humanity will cease to exist.
And what that really means is you should go back to doing what you were born to do, which is to produce more children.
Why is that a bad thing? Why is that a bad thing? We have roles. Men have roles. Women have roles. Okay, men should do more of what we're here to do, protect, provide, all that good stuff. And women at a certain point got to have kids, because if they're not, then how will we continue to live as humans?
And they're talking about, you know, cash benefits for the more children you have. This has been tried, by the way, in other countries, and it has not worked. Or medals if you have 6 children, while they're contemplating cutting Medicaid, while they have no interest in paid family leave or funding quality childcare. They're cutting Head Start. I mean, you go down the list.
Okay, I mean, a lot of those things you mentioned, that's cool and all, but I don't think that'll solve the problem of the low birth rate.
List of all the programs that support child rearing and the care of children and create, you know, some safety net for women who are in the workforce, the formal workforce, as well as, you know, raising children. So this is another performance about concerns they allegedly have for family life. But if you had read the Heritage Foundation's Project 2025, despite Trump saying he knew nothing about it, if you had read it, it's all in there.
Let's pause for a minute. Now, just because there are some things in Project 2025 that are happening right now does not mean that the reason why it's happening is because it was in Project 2025. Here's an example. In Project 2025, they may say, okay, we have a goal of reducing carbon emission. I'm not saying that's in there, but just stick with me. So if the president comes out and says, okay, we're going to reduce carbon emission, is that because Project 2025 said it, or is that a common thing that gets spoken about all the time, all over the world? You see, but that's just more of her fear mongering, trying to make you think, oh, well, we were right to scare you about Project 2025 because look at what's going on. They said we got to increase the birth rate, and that's in Project 2025. So aren't you scared?
It's all in there. Return to the family, the nuclear family, return to being a Christian nation.
These are things that have existed as ideals for hundreds, if not thousands of years. How old is the Bible? At least, 2,000 years old at this point? Those things are right there in the Bible. So are you going to say Project 2025 is the reason why people are trying to follow principles that they got from the Bible?
Return to, you know, producing a lot of children, which is sort of odd because the people who produce the most children in our country are immigrants, and they want to deport them. So none of this adds up. But, you know, one of the reasons why our economy did so much better than comparable advanced economies across the world is because we actually had a replenishment, because we had a lot of immigrants legally and undocumented.
That's a crazy word to use, replenishment. That sounds a lot like slavery. Actually, it's the exact same thing. Now, don't get on me talking about, well, they didn't get beat and lynched, and they just stop being so offended. It's the same ideology. Okay, you bring in vulnerable people to work for nothing or next to nothing for the lowest costs possible. And since they're vulnerable, they can't really go anywhere. They have laws that are kind of keeping them in place. They're going to be motivated to go to work every day and work for a low amount of money. So she's saying, well, rather than Americans having more children, rather than Americans keeping America going, we bring in migrants from all over the world and have them keep America going, at least as far as the workforce, the lower class workforce is concerned.
Who had a, larger than normal by American standards family. So this is just another one of their, make America great again by returning to the lifestyles and the economic arrangements of not just the 1950s. I mean, let's keep going back as far as we can and, see what happens.
Well, if you go all the way back, we get what you were talking about, which is slavery. Bringing in vulnerable people, making them work for next to nothing. That's the same thing that happened during slavery. We fought a war over that and we abolished it, but you guys keep trying to bring it back. Now, as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to everybody who is against slavery. I thought we were beyond that. I didn't think it was still really a thing, but obviously it still is. It's really a thing. Using humans, taking advantage of them to drive down costs, to make things cheaper, and to benefit the elites. Because again, Americans need those jobs. They'll say Americans don't want to do those jobs. But I'm seeing plenty of truck drivers and skilled people saying, hey, I'm out of work because of the migrants. I know guys that are doing lawn care, maintenance, all kinds of stuff who are struggling to find work because they brought in the migrants. See, that right there is a problem. They think it's okay because it helps them. They don't really see what regular everyday Americans are going through in this country. They don't deal with the crime. They don't deal with the lack of jobs. They don't deal with what we're going through. And if you really want to try to increase the birth rate, it's going to be difficult either way you slice it, because the same thing happening here is happening all over the world. What you could do is take a crack at that family court. Start with the family court and fix some of that, and then we can talk from there. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about what Hillary Clinton said? Do you think that we need the migrants to do work in America? Are they the actual solution here or not? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. What Hillary Clinton said there is no different than what Democrats have been saying since the beginning. The first Republican president was who? Abraham Lincoln. What did he do? Free the slaves. And they deleted him for it. They deleted him for it because they didn't want that system to end. And here they are, 2025, trying to bring back something like that system again. It's pretty obvious to me, but whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I gotta say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.
All right. I have to agree with what he's saying. I'm sorry that you had to listen to Hillary speak for so long, but it's good to know what they're thinking on the other side. And obviously it's lunacy, but let's click over here on this Rumble link and show you that this video does come from Anthony Brian Logan. I'm following the channel. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. All right. Let's get back here. And again, I don't understand why the first time I played this, I wasn't getting any audio out of this video. But the second time I played it, I was. So what are you going to do? Okay, let's go down here to Doug in Exile. This is on YouTube. Hopefully we won't have a problem with the audio here. Let me get this started for you.
James is in big.
I'm going to click the closed caption. Back this up all the way. Give you a full screen, and let's see what's going on.
James is in big trouble, and now she's being called out by the media. Welcome to Doug in Exile as we take a look at what kind of heat Big Tish James, she's changing her story, and we caught her. Let's watch.
As you know, we filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump and his family. We secured $454 million judgment against him, which is on appeal. The case is on appeal. I have no idea when that case will be decided. This investigation to me is nothing more than retribution. It's baseless. It has to do with the fact that on a power of attorney, I mistakenly indicated that I was a state of Virginia.
Whoa, what's that? Oh, now it's I mistakenly indicated. This is an admission of guilt. This is a mea culpa. This isn't these are baseless. They're not baseless. You just now said you mistakenly indicated. You indicated. I want the government to know when they catch me cheating on my taxes, it was mistakenly indicated. And they'll go, yeah, you still pay the fine. You're still in trouble. What if Trump mistakenly indicated the wrong estimate on his properties in New York? What would throw the book at her? You need to go to jail, even for a simple mistake. That's what you did to Trump. That is the standard in New York. I'm sorry, you have to be held to a higher account. You're in leadership. This is an admission of guilt, mistakenly indicated. No one's above the law, Tish. You can't say it was just a mistake.
I mistakenly indicated that I was a state of Virginia, but prior to that, I have indicated to the mortgage broker that, in fact, in bold cap letters, that I am not a resident of Virginia and never will be. And in the mortgage application, I indicated that I would not live in Virginia and I was not a resident.
You told the truth when it didn't benefit you, but you told a lie on the tax records when it would save you a ton of money. I get it.
So the power of attorney, and they're using that as a basis for enforcement for their investigation, when in reality, the power of attorney was never used to determine my eligibility for a mortgage for my niece or a home in the state of Virginia. My niece who has children, and because I wanted her to.
Tell it to the judge, Letitia. I don't want to hear your excuses. You think you're above the law. We all know what this means. We all know what you did. You know what you did. That's why you changed your story to now, I mistakenly changed and always mistakenly to benefit you. Not, a true mistake would 50% harm you if you made a mistake instead of benefit you. Your mistakes only benefit you. That's not a mistake. We call that fraud.
Letitia James says that the alleged mortgage fraud was simply a mistake. What do you get your thoughts on that? She put down that her father was her husband in order, and this is very similar to, I guess, the false.
Letitia James put that her father was her husband. But in that last speech, she only said that saying that her residence was in Virginia was a mistake. So is it not a mistake that she said she's married to her father, or is she actually married to him?
I'm not involved in that at all. I know that it's being handled by various groups, I guess, but it's major fraud, mortgage documents, and fraudulent everything. I think she said the father was her husband, which she had to have a husband, so she chose her father. And she put it, didn't she sign in Virginia? Yet she said she lived in Virginia, yet she's the New York State Attorney General. She did that for tax reasons, so she could take advantage of taxes. And she had the wrong number of units. She had a much different number, which wouldn't have allowed her to qualify and scam the government. So I don't know. I think she's very bad for New York, but I really don't know too much about it, but I appreciate the question. Thank you very much.
I don't really know much about it, but she had the wrong number of units. She registered in the wrong place. She said that she married her dad. He goes down this long laundry list. I don't know much about it. And then he goes, boom. But, to conclude, I really don't know much about it. He is the greatest president of my life. Here's Joel Gilbert. Look, this is one of the kind of citizen investigators, works with Gateway Pundit. He's imitating Letitia James. They got individuals coming to my house. With Sam Antar, I visited the scene of the crime, Letitia James' 5-unit apartment building. We confirmed our research that James committed mortgage fraud to obtain a low-interest 2.7% government loan No one's above the law. Tish, here's the different ways that Politico covers the news. Look, here's on Politico, Alina Habba targeted Democrats. She targeted them when she became New Jersey's top prosecutor. Now she's following through. Did Letitia James target Trump? No, here's how Politico said Letitia James is taking on Trump again. Not targeted him. They reserved that for Alina Habba.
About your recommendation, you recommended that the DOJ investigate New York Attorney General Letitia James over alleged mortgage fraud. The AG, Letitia James, has responded. We don't have the video, but here's the quote. "This investigation into me is nothing more than retribution. It's baseless. It has to do with the fact that on a power of attorney, I mistakenly indicated that I was a state of Virginia resident. And prior to that, I indicated to the mortgage broker that, in fact, in bold cap letters, that I am not a resident of Virginia and never will be. They just took the power of attorney and they're using that as a basis for enforcement of their investigation." Bill, do you know why she said she was a resident of Virginia on the power of attorney, if in fact she wasn't?
Well, I know that we are mortgage experts and we only refer things that we think are mortgage fraud, and we stand 100% behind the letter. I'll let the letter speak for itself. I do know, and I have seen some reports from that subject's criminal defense lawyer saying certain things. I'll leave it to the DOJ to correct various things. But again, when we see mortgage fraud, we are going to report it. When we see mortgage fraud, we are going to prosecute it within the confines of our duties. And we are not going to be intimidated by a subject's criminal defense lawyer. We are not going to be intimidated by a politician, or just because you have an Esquire behind your name. We are not going to be intimidated by people. If we see mortgage fraud, we're going to do something about it. And I think that you're going to see us be taking this on in a big way. Mortgage fraud is a big problem. These companies are safe and sound, but where we see it, we are going to do something about it. And that subject's case is no different.
Well, what are the ramifications of this now that you've referred this for criminality to the DOJ?
Well, I would refer that to the DOJ. Again, as I say, we spend our days, we are mortgage experts. We are not politicians. I view this as an academic job. Obviously, the president can fire me at any time. So I guess in that way. But look, I look at this as an independent agency. We found the mortgage fraud, whether it be that particular subject or other subjects. And we work actively with the DOJ and different law enforcement agencies. And we will continue to do so. We are not going to be intimidated by somebody. Nobody is above the law. And that includes famous people or lawyers or what have you.
And what is your response to her saying, look, this was a mistake. I mistakenly wrote that I was a resident of Virginia.
Well, again, I don't want to respond to the specific comments that she would make or that the subject's criminal defense lawyer would make. I would just say generally that we will leave a lot of that up to the DOJ. I will say, though, however, just as a general matter, that occupancy fraud is a real issue. People saying that they're going to live in one state and going to it. And
it's a real issue. She's guilty. I say she goes to prison. What do you guys think? How many years in prison should Letitia James face? Write in the comments below. She should get at least a $50 million fine like she did to Trump. That's only fair. And remember, if she gets away with the excuse, I mistakenly did it, all of us should get the same excuse. When we commit, I got a carpenter here. I'm Doug in Exile.
Okay. Very interesting. All right. This does come from Doug in Exile. I'm subscribed to his channel on YouTube. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. All right. Let's get back here and scroll down and hear what Dr. Steve Turley has to say. I thought that was interesting. I want to share with you folks about Letitia. Okay. Dr. Steve Turley, these latest Trump polls are a Democrat's nightmare. Oh, okay. Well, let's keep our fingers crossed. See if we get the audio here. Let's see what's going on.
You there. The polls keep coming in and they're all showing the same thing. Trump is surging and the Democrats are plummeting. And they're not just plummeting. They are plummeting with the very voter constituency that they bank their entire political future on. This is stunning. Take a look at this. This is the headline from Newsweek reporting on the latest analysis of data from the 2024 election. It was compiled by the data firm Catalyst, shared with the Cook Political Report. Bottom line, Here's what happened in 2024, and here's what is happening now with all these current polls. The once reliable Obama coalition, young, diverse, urban, has officially turned into the Trump coalition. You got to get that. The Obama coalition has transformed into the Trump coalition. This is exactly what we've been arguing for on this channel for over a year now, as well as data analysts like Rich Barris of the People's Pundit. Robert Barnes has been arguing this, Larry Schweikert, a number of others. The very voting constituency that had come out overwhelmingly for Obama has shifted. And it's shifted dramatically to the right, to the populist right, and it's transformed into the Trump coalition that could signal Republican political dominance for generations. Now, before we take a more granular look at that, case in point, take a look at the latest from Insider Advantage. Now, we talked about this yesterday. Insider Advantage was one of the single most accurate polling outlets all throughout 2024. And their latest poll, just released the other day, has Trump with a 55% approval rating. That's a plus 11. He's absolutely crushing it. And this is being corroborated by the latest right track, wrong track polling. So the number of American voters who believe the nation is finally on the right track is the highest it's ever been right now. That's the headline from the Washington Examiner. Trump is presiding over the highest right track polling freaking ever. Our good friend Mark Mitchell, Rasmussen, again, one of the single most accurate pollsters of 2024. His results are showing the current right track sentiments at 49%. That is the highest right track numbers ever recorded for Rasmussen. They have over 2 decades of data to refer to there, the highest ever. Another indicator here that's corroborating Trump's popularity is voter registration trends. Take a look at this. Miami-Dade has officially flipped for the first time in its history. There are now more registered Republicans than Democrats in a county that voted for Hillary Clinton by 30 points. Let that hit you. Registered Republicans now outnumber Democrats 464,000 to 440,000. Florida as a whole is now nearly a plus 10 registered Republican state. Republicans outnumber Democrats by 10 points in a state that up to just months ago was majority Democrat for its entire existence. But that's all par for the course of what's happening universally all across the country. In every single state, the Republicans are crushing the Democrats in voter registration, which our good friend Seth Keshel, the election modeler, one of the most accurate election modelers of 2024. I mean, his election modeling went down granularly into the county by county predictions and analysis in Wisconsin and Michigan and Pennsylvania and Arizona. He crushed it. I think he nailed every single county. But as part of his modeling, Seth Keshel argues that the key predictive indicator for election results is voter registration. People don't register for one party only to turn around and vote for the other party mere months later. How voters register is the single most accurate predictive indicator for how they will vote. That's exactly what we saw in 2024 when Republicans had, if I recall, a 2% voter registration advantage. And lo and behold, Trump wins by 2%. And it's happening again in 2025. And if the latest data analysis is accurate, the days of the Democrats are indeed seriously coming to an end. Wait until you see this. But first, I do want to talk.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pause that there. Great information from Dr. Steve. Let me go ahead and click on this Rumble link and show you that this video does come from Dr. Steve Turley. I'm following his channel. I've given him a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. All right, let's get back here. And that's what we have for today. Full disclosure here, folks, these videos do come directly from the producers that created them. I don't get any commissions or royalties for sharing this information out, but I do get the satisfaction of sharing this with you and hoping that you will pass it on and share it with others. I want to give you a bonus tonight. I listened to Wendy Bell today. I always listen to Wendy while I'm updating my site and creating the layout of my live stream for the evening. But Wendy had some great information. We're over here. Come over here to mertech.com, where I have over 55 great videos here that I've posted directly from the producer. Wendy Bell, I want to share a tidbit with her, and we'll talk a little bit about this. But let me go ahead and click on that and get this going. Nothing but the truth. Huh, okay.
Is a very dramatic change. When you're watching a president of the United States use the media to destroy the media, it's fascinating. It's what Trump put out on Truth Social the other day, which I said yesterday was huge. Not only dropping the word treason on the people who lied about Joe Biden, his election, his being in charge, about all of it, but he was sympathetic towards almost the abuse of Joe Biden and said there's no way, if you look at his record, he would ever have agreed to opening the border to dangerous people. So somebody else did. Donald Trump puts the entire media apparatus on notice because they've all flocked to support Joe Biden. Now they're all throwing Joe Biden, the White House, and his family under the bus as doctors. And then there's President Trump reversing things and siding with Joe Biden in an empathetic way. They abused him. They used him. They lied and cheated on his behalf. And then they used his signature to ram through a bunch of things to destroy America. Period. So he plays this video for the South African president. You say it's not about white genocide. Well, we have 5 minutes of video that suggests otherwise. There is no explanation out of that, right? There really isn't. Let's hear what the media's takeaway was. It wasn't that. There are questions about some racial cleansing going on in South Africa. There's a group of people there that would really like to get back at the white people for apartheid. Let's hear what the media took away.
To the dramatic scene in the Oval Office today, the tense confrontation, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
Up next, another Oval Office meltdown, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
President Trump is being accused of conducting something of a diplomatic ambush of South Africa's president in the Oval Office.
To be with you, I'm Katie Tur. President Trump orchestrated another Oval Office ambush today.
Today, Donald Trump meeting with the president of South Africa and attempting to ambush and humiliate that leader.
Zelensky territory, where essentially he was a bit ambushed inside the Oval Office.
Felt like an ambush in there, kind of like the President Zelensky meeting in the Oval Office.
This was an ambush. It was orchestrated.
Cyril Ramaphosa brought his best diplomatic self to this meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush.
What started as, to some degree, an ambush.
Well, Katie, I mean, it wasn't ambush.
Ambush.
Ambushed.
Ambush.
An ambush.
Ambushing.
Ambushed and ambushed inside the Oval Office.
The media are the enemy of the people. The media lie to you every single day. They run cover for the deep state. They present fake news narratives. They miss the real story purposefully. And they fan the flames of smoke screens all the time to run covers so that their keepers, the people who write their checks, whether it be pharma, Klaus Schwab, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, George Soros, or any other scumbag out there who hates America, so that they can appease these individuals. It's not just television. We thought we'd show you some of the headlines from some of the newspapers that are out today. It's pretty impressive if you think about it. Is it not coming up? Okay, I have it on my computer. It is quite remarkable when you pull this up. That was my fault, Brock. I'm going to read you some of these headlines. Ready? Here's one from The Independent. Trump channels a conspiracy theory-loving uncle with bizarre Oval Office ambush. People magazine. Trump ambushes South African president on live TV with videos of debunked white persecution. The Telegraph. Trump ambushes South African president with footage of white persecution. Nobody's talking about who's been killed. Were they killed? What's the truth? Don't look to the media for that. Axios. Trump ambushes South Africa's president with video footage in Oval Office. You can't make it up. The Daily News. Trump ambushes South African president with video of attacks on white people. The Standard. Trump ambushes South African president with video claiming to show white genocide. It's so obvious. You see it. Of course you see it. You know who believes that President Trump ambushed that president from South Africa? Dumb people. Dumb people. And the problem with dumb people is that they don't know that they're dumb. They think that they're not. And so they go out and they blather things like these headlines. All of this proves to you that you have a media that long ago stopped reporting on what was going on. And they were creating the storyline, the farcical narrative, dreamscape, weird simulation that you and I have been living in for more than 4 years and just want to step out of. We want our country back. We want to kick out people who suck. We want to hang up people who have basically sold out this country to the highest bidder. We want leaders we can believe in. We want congressmen and women who are America first, who tell the truth and who are there for a limited amount of time because it is an honor, not a job forever. That is what we want. What they want is for you to believe it was an ambush. You decide. When we go.
Okay. There you have it, folks. Have you ever heard the term mockingbird media? I think that was a prime example right there of the mainstream mockingbird lying media. Now, is this something that we're supposed to believe? The ambush, along with Joe Biden, is on the top of his game. He's the most cogent I've ever seen. He's sharp as a tack. Oh, and those Republicans are just doing cheap fakes when they say he's falling down and stumbling over his words. Is this the same thing as, oh, we have a pandemic that you have to take this COVID shot or you're going to kill everyone in the universe? Okay, well, if Joe over here has had his COVID shot and Mary has had hers, whether I get mine or not is not going to affect them, okay? So you don't worry about me. But no, the mainstream media, they won't stand for that. Or, the Democrat government doesn't want to stand for that. Or is this ambush thing the same as the J6 insurrection, which was worse than Pearl Harbor and 9/11 put together? Oh, is this ambush thing the same as the Russian collusion hoax? Is this ambush the same as, lying about white people being killed in South Africa? Is this the same as the quid pro quo call with Ukraine? I mean, how many times? I know Wendy says Democrats are stupid, and there's a lot of Democrats, I'm sure, that watch CNN and MSNBC. But how many times will some of these people allow themselves to be lied to? I don't get it. I mean, they tell you these lies, and then you look around, and then you think back about what Dr. Steve Turley said, how registering as Republicans continues to grow, outpacing Democrats. There's more Republicans in Miami-Dade County than there are registered Democrats. How can this be if Donald Trump is so horrible? Yet, there are some people that believe him, and that, folks, is why I put these videos together, not just to let you know what's going on, but so that you will possibly share this information out with others to help spread the word that we are being lied to. Okay? Coming back here, these videos that I have here, and even the one that I shared with you from Wendy Bell, let's click back over here and click on this Rumble link and show you that this video does come from Wendy Bell.
When we come back,
I'm following her channel. I've given her a thumbs up. I hope you do the same thing for me. But when we come over here, and these videos also, they come directly from the producer. I'm not trying to take anything from anyone. I'm sharing this information out. I don't get any commissions or royalties for sharing this information out, but I do hope that you will share this out with others so other people can have a taste of the truth. Let me do a quick refresh on this screen here. Okay. I've had 151 people look at this video so far. I've got 15 people watching it right now, and I've got 4 thumbs up. So if I could get 11 of you to slide down here and give me a thumbs up, that would be great. And these 4 videos that I shared with you, and the one here from Wendy Bell, does come from Mertech.com, Daily News Update. I have over 55 no-nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth videos here. The information that you're not going to get from the mainstream media. So, link to Mertech.com is also in the description box, so you can scroll down and click on that and come here. It's a free site. I don't make any money off of this. I don't ask you for your name or your email address or to sign up for a newsletter. I don't drop cookies on your computer and sell your information. You're pretty much anonymous when you come here. So I invite you to come here and get some more information over and above what I've already shared with you. But I will have a daily news wrap-up coming up here about 9:30, in about 25 minutes, where I will have over 80 videos in my watch list of no-nonsense, common sense, logic, and truth, going into some more of the information that we talked about tonight and other information that I didn't have an opportunity to get into. So go ahead and take a break, grab a cup of coffee, get a donut, go potty if you need to, and come back around 9:30, and we will start our daily news wrap-up marathon live stream. It'll last throughout the night. So I do want to thank you for your time. Hopefully, I'll get to see you again later, and may God bless.